Somebody who is a little more in contention, I say a little more, is Tiger Woods. He also made the cut. He's playing the weekend, defending Masters champion. As we talk right now, currently sitting at 4 under for the tournament, several shots back of the lead. I'm a big Tiger guy. As you guys know, I was ecstatic when he won the Masters last year. Guys, I will turn it to you. Chris, I'll go to you first again. It's a faint chance for Tiger, but it is a chance. Do you think there's a possibility that he can leap back up and be in contention for the lead on Sunday so I can deck out my Sunday red tomorrow morning?
He had a great first round. One of his best in Masters history, if not his best, in his time at Augusta. But his second round was not that great. I think he shot 1 under, and coming out of the restart, because they had to blow the horn because of darkness on Friday night, start again on Saturday morning. He was just okay this morning. He was just okay. And now he's in the third round, and he again is just okay. So he, ever since he won the Masters, which is now, remember, you think that's a year ago. No, it's 19 months ago. He hasn't been fantastic. He's been good, but not fantastic. However, the Masters is the ultimate study in course recognition and course knowledge. And that's what he has more than anybody in the field, him and Phil. So that is helping him move through these rounds, but he's not as sharp as he was on Thursday. And it seems like a long shot that he's going to win, especially because if I flip over to the leaderboard right now, it's 1:11 p.m. on Saturday. Dustin Johnson is 4 under through 4 holes in the third round. Sung Jae Im, John Rahm, Abe Answer, Justin Thomas all tied for second. There's no, like, this is true in every Masters because it's the hardest field to get into in golf. But there's no, like, Fugazi people between him and the top, right? It's all past champions, winners on tour, top 50, because that's what the criteria is. And there are some big hits, some really top-notch players in the top 10. All those guys I just mentioned, plus more, Matsuyama, Cantlay, McIlroy, Fleetwood, all above him. So I don't see a way he wins, but he's proven me wrong before, so I wouldn't out of the question, but I am not picking him to win at this stage.
Yeah, Chris, you said most everything that I wanted to articulate myself, with the fact that, you know, I'm not thinking of him in terms of winning this. It's just too. This has been a very good tournament to this point, and the competition is just so good right now. He could climb a little bit up that leaderboard, but there's 25 guys he's going to have to better as of right now. You know, as we sit here, he's tied for 22nd place, I believe, on the leaderboard. It's just too much. Like Chris was saying, everybody on that leaderboard is damn good. I just don't see a scenario where, you know, I like Tiger too, and I love the comeback story that was his that was his Masters win 19 months ago. But it just, I think after a triumphant win like that, we will tend to put someone like Tiger back on the pedestal we had thought of him before, when that's just, especially at this point, it's just not feasible. I wouldn't put money on it.
Yeah, and it's interesting to think about Tiger, and I think back to watching that Masters last year, and obviously there were more than 10 years of distance between the U.S. Open in 2008, where he won the playoff for his 14th major, and that Masters last year, which he won for major number 15. And obviously everything that happened in between with the public scandal and the injuries that he has dealt with, which posed and continue to pose threats to his career. And in watching that Masters last year, it similarly in a way to watching Nicklaus in '86, you're sitting there watching it with the knowledge like, hey, this might be it. Like, this might be his last best shot at winning a major. Because, we've seen him at some of the other events not do as well. And as you said, Chris, he has the institutional knowledge of Augusta, just being there every year, where you have to respect what he can do there. And he always seemed to do better, even in that, 10-year dead period of not really winning, where, he could be horrible at the other majors and he would come to Augusta and have a shot. And I think that's about where his career is now. You think about that Masters last year and how hard it was for him to come back from everything and go in and win that tournament. And I wonder if it didn't take something out of him for the rest of that year, because he didn't do very well in the rest of the majors. And, he comes back this year, kind of a, up and down performances in the majors. Augusta is actually doing relatively well, considering, but, probably not going to win. But it's good to have him back. And, I personally, not to wax poetic here, will cherish that Masters last year for the rest of my life. Because if that is the last major he won, I'll sit there knowing that I enjoyed it to the fullest, knowing that everything that he had come back from was ultimately worth it in that one tournament.
Absolutely. And Jimmy, I will say this also, to circle back really to Bryson in this sense. I think, in those 10 plus years in between Tiger's 08 win and his incredible win 19 months ago, like we've been saying, where, a public scandal, one of the most public sports scandals really since OJ. He was the butt of every Letterman monologue for like 5 years. I knew you'd like that, Jimmy. I think that the biggest crux in his game, and ended up being in his golf game, public scene aside, was the high expectations he put on himself that just at that point were no longer feasible to imagine in himself. The way we kind of saw that with Bryson this week, where I remember very distinctly this happening more than once, where Tiger talking to the press, and the press were asking him, "What do you expect from yourself this weekend?" And he would say, "First," and there'd be chuckles. And I think that is, we talked about Bryson DeChambeau earlier. I think it's a parallel there. And I think Tiger came to a point where he realized that can't be him anymore, and then the chip got on his shoulder, and that's why he was able to win last year. Mm-hmm. But that's an important factor, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, last year was amazing, without a doubt. I never thought I'd see that again in my life. I mean, I very vaguely remember Torrey Pines, but not as well as other people do, obviously. And that is something I never, ever even remotely considered ever seeing in my life. But there it was. And he put himself after Thursday in a position to do it again, but doesn't look like it's coming to fruition this week.